Hello and welcome to Our Business. Moroccan Prime Minister Abdullah Ben Khirain says subsidies on petroleum products will be removed by the end of this year. When questioned by MPs about the need to preserve the public's spending power, Ben Khirain said he was determined to implement reforms even if they were tough and painful. He announced that steps were currently being taken to remove the subsidy on butane gas, which costs the state budget 14 billion dirhams every year. Egypt's annual urban consumer inflation and core inflation both slowed in November, a boost for government efforts to balance economic growth and price stability. Urban consumer inflation dropped to 9.1% in November after rising to 11.8% the previous month. Core inflation, excluding volatile items like fruit and vegetables, declined for a second month to 7.81% from 8.47% a month ago. Jordan's Deputy Central Bank Governor Meher Hassan says economic growth is expected to accelerate to as much as 4% next year as cheaper oil cuts the country's current account deficit. In addition to cutting the current account gap, which is set to fall below 8% of gross domestic product this year from nearly 10% in 2013, cheaper oil will strengthen the government's fiscal position by reducing state fuel subsidies and losses at the state electricity company. Saudi Oil Minister al-Naimi has shrugged off suggestions that the world's biggest crude exporter might cut production to reverse the deepest price slump in years, saying the kingdom's output had remained steady through last month. Naimi's comments on the sidelines of an annual UN climate change conference in Peru stuck to the message he laid out at OPEC's meeting 2 weeks ago. The market would be left to balance itself without the kingdom's intervention. Asked whether he thought it would be necessary to reduce oil production prior to OPEC's next scheduled meeting in June, Naimi responded, "Why should we cut production?" And finally, a quick look at the markets. Dubai's stock index tumbled, heading for its biggest daily drop in 5 years after Brent crude oil dropped to a fresh 5-year low. The Emirates' main index sank 7.2% to 3,604 points. Other Gulf markets were also bleeding. The main index in Abu Dhabi dropped 3.7%, Qatar was down 3.5%, Oman fell 2.8%, and Kuwait slid 1.6%. In the opening minutes of trade, Saudi Arabia's index fell 2.7%. For more updates, please visit lebon.tv. That was it for today. We will be back tomorrow with some more from the business world in the Middle East. Goodbye.